If you're like me and you're like, oh crap, it's halfway through November and I need to be moving it along on my reading goal, let's read some short, quick novellas. I don't care if a book is 30, 40, 50 pages, or if it's 500, 600, 700 pages, it all counts on Goodreads towards your reading goal. A 40-page book counts the same as a 700-page book. So you know what? We're going to talk about quick books to get you to your reading goal, because I am trying to get to my reading goal and I am hustling through books, and I have some like really lengthy books on my TBR for the end of this month and in December that are like pushing the like 500, 600, 700 page range. So to offset those, I am reading quite a few little novellas. I wanted to give you guys some really quick novella recommendations. Well, not all of these. Some of these are literally like 40 pages. Some of these are like even around like the 200 page range. So you got a wide mix depending on what you're looking for. If you're wanting something like really short and quick, or if you're wanting something with a little bit more like story to it, I got you covered here. So I got a ton of recs, so I'm gonna stop talking and let's jump in. So the first one is one that I just read, one of my newest ones, and that is Little Green Vines by Britt Andrews. So this one is a monster sapphic novella, and this one is, I think, around like 39, 40 something pages, so very short. Like this one, you can literally be like one and done within like an hour with it. One of our heroines in this one, she's living in a cabin in the woods, kind of like on kind of the bit of the outskirts of her village. All of her family passed away from some illness years ago, so she's recovered, and it's her 25th birthday, I think. And so she's like made a pie, she's out in the garden, she's kind of doing her thing, and she's always been warned not to go into the forest because women get lured into the forest and then they never come back out. And she gets lured into the forest, and when she's in there, she meets a monster that's hanging out in there. What does she call herself? Like a demoness, I think, that has lured her in there because she's been watching her for years and has just been waiting for the right opportunity to lure her in to her little trap, and she wants to keep her there. I mean, it's literally 40 pages of monster smut. It's fun. It's straight up fun. It's a good time. I don't really have much else to say about that one. And kind of say some of these, like, there's just not much to say because that's like kind of all that there is to them. And that's gonna be the same way with this one, Dirty First Dates, The Arcade by Harley LaRue. This one is like around 45 pages, I think. And it just follows this couple going on a first date to an arcade. I think our hero in this one found out that our heroine has a secret Twitter account that's like what is that, like NSFW? Like, you know, she has like some scandalous things on this one Twitter account and like writes about what she wants done, and our hero finds that, takes her on this date and is like, hey, I found your Twitter account, what do you want to do about that? And they just have like a crazy first date. This one definitely has more like BDSM elements to it, and I really enjoyed this one. There's also The Museum. There are 3 in this whole series. One of them's like a seasonal specific one, so I'm gonna leave that one out because Halloween is past, but The Museum is the other just like generic one for it. And this one follows a couple, I think they have classes in college together, and they've been wanting to go out for a while, and they finally do go out. Again, their first date at the museum. Again, it's just like 40 pages of them just going on this date, and it's fun. This one I didn't like as much because there is daddy kink in it, but he's like 22 and she's like 21, and that doesn't really work for me. I like it when it's like, you know, like in Hush Hush when like Daddy James is like 53. Like that works. This didn't as much, but I mean, it's still short, quick, to the point. Okay, next up, we got Fire and Ash by Sarah Kate. So this one is an student teacher age gap novella. So it is following a character from one of her standalone novels. However, you don't have to read that in order to understand this at all. You just see like cameos of the couple from that other book, Burn For Me. But in Fire and Ash, it follows one of our heroes. He is a professor at this university, and one day when he is driving somewhere, his car breaks down on the side of the road. He calls a mechanic. The mechanic comes out, and he's like, ooh, this mechanic's kind of hot. And this mechanic also thinks that he's hot. So when they go back to the garage, they're the only two there, because was it like late at night or on the weekend or something? Whatever, they're the only two there. And they have a quick little hookup in the mechanic's office. And then when the mechanic goes to attend his first day of classes, he realizes that his teacher is the guy that he slept with. I really enjoyed this one. I liked seeing our hero that we had seen from Burn For Me get like a little happily ever after, and good character development for the short amount of time that we had with them. Okay, next up we have, okay, so this one is an entire series, but all of the books that I've read, I think I've read the first 5 and a couple of the novellas in between. Well, I mean, they're already like short books, but then they have like novellas. The Planet Barbarians series by Ruby Dixon. These books are all super quick to get through. I think they're all around like the 250 250 to like 300 mark. I don't think any that I've read have gone above 300 pages. And even if they have, they're still like super, super quick reads. Like I'm telling you, you can binge these really quickly. And it's fun. And there are literally, I don't even know how many there are in it, like 26 or something. So like if you really want to hit your reading goal, you could just binge this entire series if you really wanted to. I really use them as palate cleansers in between all of the like contemporary romances that I read. So Ice Planet Barbarians, this first one. So kind of the premise of this is all of these human women are kidnapped by this one alien species, and they are on their way to this planet to like be trafficked. And something goes wrong with their ship, and they end up crash landing on this one planet that they end up dubbing Not Hoth. So the aliens like dropped them there, and then the aliens kept going. So then all these women are just left alone by themselves. And this group of other aliens stumble upon them, and they're like, women. Their tribe is kind of like dying out a little bit. They need some women to like help them repopulate their tribes. So they're like, so it's like breeding kink, and they all have mates. It's just fun. All these men are simps for their women. It's fun. There's never like really any other woman drama because it's just these human women and these alien men. They're just super fun, super bingeable. Something very different that for me, I don't read like pretty much any other alien romances. So it is just fun to like switch it up for me with this series. And like I said, there are so many and they're so quick to read that you can really get binging on them and get through a lot to your reading goal. Next up, Mute by M.L. Nystrom. So this one is a bit of a longer novella. I think it's around like the 175-ish page length. And this one is an MC Club romance. So our heroine in this one, she has a job working at a library, but that job is being dissolved and she's looking for a new job. She like has a really bad living situation, doesn't really have any friends or any family to be helping her out, but she really needs a second job. And this one lady that always comes in the library loves her, and she's like, hey, I own the biker bar downtown or whatever. If you want a job there, like you got it. And she ends up accepting the job. And when she goes there, she starts working and she meets Mute, who is one of the members of the MC. And he really kind of like takes her under his wing a little bit. He sees that she needs protection. And he, however, cannot speak. His vocal cords were cut, like his entire throat was slashed open in a fight. He did end up surviving, but now he can't speak. So they kind of learn how to like have their own language between the two of them. It's so good. I really enjoyed this. I don't normally love MC romances. I don't know why. They're just not typically my favorite, but I really, really like this one. I loved the connection between the two characters. The motorcycle club dynamics too were like interesting. There's a decent amount of plot to it for it being shorter, good character development. Still, it wasn't like insta-lovey at all, which is normally my problem with novellas. Like this was really, really solid. Absolutely loved it. And I know there are more in the series I just haven't continued on, but again, more to like binge after this one if you're enjoying it. Next up, in omegaverse. Like I said, guys, I'm trying to give you like a wide range of stuff here for whatever your taste is desiring. So I have an omegaverse, Heat Haven by Sarah Blue. So this one, our heroine, she is an omega without a pack, and her heat is coming up. So there is this thing called Heat Haven that omegas can go to, and they can have like heats there safely, and they can pick and choose what alphas and betas that are also a part of Heat Haven want to join them. And our hero in this one, he is joining up. He does not have a pack. He's been really focused on work. He's an alpha. He's looking to see if he can maybe find a pack when he's doing this. And our hero and heroine get stuck in an elevator when they are on their way up for like some orientation stuff. They did not know each other beforehand or had picked each other beforehand, but when they're in the elevator, they end up connecting, and she invites him to her heat, and it goes from there. It's cute. It's fun. It's hot. There you go. Next up, Handsome Devil by Sarah Kate. This is a dad's best friend, age gap, not dad's best friend, best friend's dad, age gap, forced proximity romance. So our heroine in this one, she gets a call from her best friend who's out in Las Vegas with her boyfriend, and it's like, surprise, I'm getting married, you need to come here. And I think she lives in Boston. So she's quickly trying to find a flight or a way to get to Las Vegas in order to make it to her friend's wedding. There are like no flights available, so she ends up road tripping it with her best friend's dad, who he does not have a great relationship with his daughter, but his daughter did call him and was like, hey, I'd like you to come to the wedding. And it's them road tripping out there. And while they're on this road trip, they end up connecting and vibing. Sarah Kate does such great age gaps, and I again really loved this one. There's great character development, great relationship development for it being a short amount of time. It's not super insta-lusty, which I don't like. I love this whole novella, and I think once again, I think this is maybe around like the 200-ish page mark. It's like on the longer end of novellas, but still quick to get through. Step 3 3 standalones, but they're all series, the Campus Tales series by QB Tyler. So these are 3 novellas, all following different people, but there is, like, you see cameos of the other characters in the different ones. So the first one, my personal favorite, Spring Semester. This one is a student-teacher age gap romance. So our heroine in this one, I think she recently went through a breakup. She was like studying abroad or something, and she came back, and she's struggling to get back out into the dating scene. So her friends end up signing her up for this dating app, and they lie about her age on there. They bump it up just a little bit. Like, she's obviously still in college. It's all like still legal, but they bump up her age a little bit, and she ends up matching with this one dude. They go out, they have a fun night, they go back, they hook up, whatever. Great time together. And then she shows up for classes like the next day or a couple of days after, and guess who her new professor is? The dude that she hooked up with from that app, and it goes from there. Love this one. Obviously, I love student teacher. And yeah, this is my favorite out of 3, but then my second favorite is Second Semester. So this one is dad's best friend, age gap, boss employee romance. I think I hit all the tropes right on this one. So this one follows the older sister of the heroine from the first one, and she just always has been like a rule follower. She always does everything that she thinks she's supposed to do and what her family expects of her, and she is an intern at her dad's law firm, but she's not working for her dad. She's working for his best friend and partner in it, and when they start working, they just can't help but be attracted to each other. And yeah, goes from there with that one. So fun. Again, the age gap and the sneaking around in this one is incredible. Love it. And the last one, it is my least favorite, but it's still really good. Like, I still recommend it. It's just not my personal favorite of QB Tyler's because it's friends to lovers. So this one, our hero and heroine, they've been like best friends since they were kids, and they've like always kind of like hooked up on and off, but now they're in college and they're both seeing other people, and they finally decide one night, like, we're going to be together. Like, we're finally going to break up with our other people because we're already cheating on them, so we might as well just be together and try to make it work this time. And right when they decide to do that, the girl that the hero is sleeping with says she's pregnant. So that throws a whole wrench in their plan. And yeah, it goes from there. This one, like I said, is my least favorite just because I don't love friends to lovers. There's no like sneaking around forbiddenness really to their relationship. Even though they're cheating, it's kind of like, yeah. No. It's in a book. I don't really care if they're cheating in a book, especially to cheat to be together. So yeah. Next up, The Stranger in Seat 8B by Nikki Castle. So this is a Grumpy Sunshine Forest proximity novella. So this one, our hero and heroine, they are on a flight. I forget where they're going, but they're both maybe they're both going for work. But our heroine, I'm pretty sure she's a lawyer and she's like a workaholic. Like, when she's on a flight, she thinks like that's her time to like still be working. Where our hero, he works in the music industry and he sees flights as being like his time to disconnect from his phone. No one can bother him. Like, just kind of chill, take it easy a little bit. They get seated next to each other and they just like start talking on the plane, or more, he starts talking to her until she finally just gives in and starts talking to him back, even though she's like grumpy. Whatever. They end up having to, oh, garbage is here right on time. They're out of here. So I think I was talking about them sitting together on the plane, and they end up being able to maneuver some things even on the plane. But then I think when they both get off, they end up at the same hotel that night, and again, they have like a little time together, and then they go their separate ways, whatever. Like I said, this is just fun, quick, not much else to say. I'm sorry, I'm not really like giving a lot of, because like I don't really know what else to say. Like, they're fun times. Next up, this one again I think is a little bit longer. I think it's maybe around like 200-ish pages, and that is Haven by Astra Rose. So this one, our heroine is running from her abusive partner, and she steals one of his cars, and it ends up breaking down on her way as she's like escaping, and she ends up finding this random bar on like the side of the road, and the 2 guys in there end up agreeing to help tow her car. They're like, we can help fix it. So they tow to their garage or whatever, and both of them are very interested in her. They're like brothers. They're not like biological brothers, but they're like brothers in the way that they've like grown up together. They're like ride or dies, and they live with their dad, one of their biological dads. And when she arrives there, all of the men kind of want her. Well, the dad is a little more standoffish to her because he's scared of getting hurt again. But it ends up, she has a relationship with all 3 of them. It's a vibe. It's a fun time. It's kind of like dramatic at certain points. Like the partner, you know, like the abusive ex-partner comes back into play. Very, very hot. Very hot. I think actually the third one of this came out and I need to read it. But I have 11 Hours and 11 Scenes by Octavia Jensen. So 11 Hours, it's a coworkers hate to love forced proximity romance. So our hero and heroine get stuck in an elevator on like a holiday weekend or something. They're both there working late and they end up getting stuck in there. So like no one is really aware. Was there like an earthquake or something random that no one really is aware that they're in there? So they're like, it could take a while until someone could find us. And when they're in the elevator together, their hate turns to lust. And, you know, by the time they get out of the elevator, they're like, we're into each other. That's pretty much the first one. And then the second one, these are like really, really short. They're like less than 100 pages. And the second one is called 11 Scenes. And it's 11 different scenes that they want to do together. And I don't know what the third one is, but I will be reading the third one. It's just, again, they're fun. They're quick. To the point. I don't know what more you expect. Next up, so this overall ends up being about like around like 500, 600 pages. However, there are 5 novellas that make up this one series, and that is the Mindfuck series by S.T. Abbey. They're so bingeable. They all end on like a little bit of a cliffhanger that just makes you jump into the next. So for like a 500 page, 600 pages of reading, you're getting 5 books to go towards that. So the first one is The Risk, and it is a serial killer FBI romance. So Lana Myers, she has a list of men that she is hunting down and making them pay, and she is a serial killer. And one morning when she's at a coffee shop, she just happens to bump into this dude and they kind of connect, and it ends up being that he is an FBI profiler who is profiling her case and trying to catch her, and it's their romance together. It is so good. Like I read this earlier this year, all 5 of them, and I binged the crap out of them back to back to back. I think I read 3 of them in one day because obviously they're very quick, and it's just incredible. It's on the darker side, definitely like check triggers for it. Like Lana's past is really, really dark, but seeing her get her revenge, love. Lana Myers stand for life. Last two I think I have. You're Mine Tonight by Lucia Franco. So this one is a love triangle romance. So our heroine in this one, she's a party girl, she's a socialite, but she's trying to get into acting and like have a bit and be taken a bit more seriously, but she still likes to have a fun time. So one night when she's out at a club with one of her friends, you know, they're drinking, indulging, and she ends up seeing this dude. They hit it off, they go home, they have an amazing night together. The next morning her agent calls her and is like, hey, you have an audition, you need to go. So she's like, peace out, dude, I'm going to my audition. She goes to the audition, and when she's there, she meets the other actor who's like going to be starring in this project, and they end up hitting it off, and then they go back to his place and they start connecting and having a good time, and it ends on a bit of a cliffhanger. I think Lucia Franco had plans to expand it. I don't know. I haven't heard her talk about it in a while on like if it's something that's in the works like soon or not, but it does end on a little bit of a cliffhanger. So if you don't like that, I'm still fine with it. Like even if she never expands on it, honestly, that's fine with me. I feel satisfied enough with this because it's so freaking hot, and you'll just know if you've read anything by Lucia Franco, you just know that she knows how to write her stuff. And the last thing on here, it's another trilogy, but all of these books are around like 250 pages. So they're the longest on this list, and there is 3, but they are really, really quick and really quick to binge with each other. And that is the Skyscraper Cinderella trilogy by Kay Webster. So it's Stroke of Midnight, Prince Charming, and The Glass Slipper. And they're billionaire, BDSM, age gap, kind of boss employee romances. So our heroine in this one, it's like a Cinderella kind of retelling, but like make it really, really dirty. So our heroine in this one, she is like on the cleaning staff at this one really big building, and she does a bad job of cleaning like the head honcho CEO's office. So he's like, hey, call her into my office, I'm gonna fire her. And when she walks in, instead of firing her, he's like, she's hot, I'm still gonna fire her, but I'm gonna offer to pay her to be my like personal plaything. It's a lot of like praise and degradation in this one. I really loved it. Again, super bingeable. It's part of the Midnight Dynasty series. So there's like warring families, lots of money, lots of drama, just lots of fun. I loved this trilogy. I pretty much read them, I think, like again consecutively when I almost never do that, but it's just, they're quick to fly through. They end on cliffhangers. They're hot, they're dramatic, they're angsty. It's just a lot of good stuff. That is the list of all of the novellas that I have for you. I have more, but then I was like, this is getting like a little excessive. So if you guys need another video by the end of the year, I can try to slot one in. I think I pretty much have my videos though planned out for the rest of November and December. So here are just a lot of quick ones for you guys to get through to get to your reading goal. I hope you find something that you like. And anyways, that is it for today. I will be back on Tuesday, back to my normal upload schedule next week, and I'm going to have books that emotionally destroyed me. I'm very excited because I just read one recently that literally had me sobbing and sobbing and sobbing. So I'm excited to talk about that one in that video. So anyways, that's it for today, and I will see you when I see you.